objects in movies often come to signify more than just their physical presence. Every prop needs to be carefully chosen, bought or crafted, picked up, placed, moved around and kept track of. Thus, each one needs to have a reason for being in the movie. Regardless if it's being handled by characters or not, it gives context or background and helps define characters and the space they move in.
It's as cold as they come. Impossible to trace, so you don't worry about prints, Mike. I put a special tape on the trigger and a butt. Here, try it.
So, when it comes to objects characters actually interact with, the choice is never random.
Leave the gun. Technique and only.
Such is the case for oranges in the Godfather Trilogy. But first we must answer a question: why oranges? There are a couple of reasons behind the peculiar choice, one practical, the other metaphorical. The practical reason possibly lies in the color and shape of the fruit. The Godfather is a visually dark movie, blacks are purposely crushed, and the overall gamma, especially in interior shots, is at the lower end of the spectrum. Thus, a shiny orange dot in an otherwise dark environment stands out much more and allows for an interesting visual contrast. On the other hand, oranges have long been associated with Sicily, where Casa Nostra originated from, as they are one of the most renowned and oldest cultivations on the island. In a special variety of oranges, the pulp is reddish, vaguely reminiscent of blood. Oranges are thus reminders of the mafia's origin and violent history.
Don Ciccio, ma ammazzasti a mio marito, perché non si può calare. Eppure un figlio mio anni, Paolo. Che piacere, Don Ciccio. Sparagnatemi, sto figlio mio. Tengo solo a chisto.
No.
Fita! Vattene, Fitto! Sveglialo! Fitto, vattene!
Ammazzatelo! Ammazzatelo!
On the surface, the main use of oranges throughout the movies is foreshadowing deaths, though this might not be accurate in this particular case, as death is mostly a side effect of the display of power, in an underworld such as the one portrayed in movies. Most interesting then is the use of oranges to display such power, and how it gets handed from character to character. This is done in one of four ways.
Just tell him he should ask me anything else. But this is one favor I can't give him.
Well, he never asks the second favor when he's been refused the first. Understood?
You don't understand. Johnny Fontaine never gets that movie.
Number 1. Showing who holds the power at a certain point. It's not by chance that oranges are always present during meeting scenes and are always juxtaposed to the people who are in charge.
Them by the bits and avanti of the church. Even the police departments that have helped us in the past with gambling and other things are gonna refuse to help us when it comes to narcotics.
Señor Michael Corleone de Nevada,
representing our associates in tourism and leisure activities.
y actividades de placer.
And my old friend and associate from Florida,
Y mi viejo amigo y asociado de la Florida,
Mr. Hyman Rhodes.
señor Hyman Rhodes.
Il Duman così amico, e chi fa?
It's a hit. Let's go. Let's get out of here!
Number 2. Passing power to someone else. By now, we've established that when an orange is handled, it's not just by accident. At the turning point of Michael's career as a boss, he's seen voraciously eating an orange. The scene is pivotal to the definition of Michael as a ruthless leader, one who will not stop in front of anything, not even his own family. He gives in to the power and accepts it.
Thought you were going to tell me that.
I turned them down. I mean, do I have to tell you about every offer that I turned down?
Let's do business.
In this other scene from the second installment in the series, the power switch couldn't be clearer. Don Fanucci is seen walking through the streets, handling an orange, while people pay their respects to him. Once his reign of terror is put to an end by a young Vito, he himself is virtually given the power, for free and out of respect, by one of his now former peers. And it is exactly at this time that the Corleone family is born.
No, è mio piacere, niente sordo. È un regalo questo.
Grazie. Tu sei molto gentile. This I might do for you. You come, we talk.
Grazie. Grazie.
State buono.
This action can be honest and truthful.
You honor your agreements. But these people you're dealing with are crooks. They have no honor.
My word is final. We'll talk later.
Or dishonest and deceiving.
What's this?
It's an orange from Miami.
Why don't you take care of Johnny's men? They look like they might be hungry. Johnny?
Number 3. Power shifting. The last movie deals with a new set of challenges for the mob. On the one side, we have Michael, on a quest to clear his family's business by going fully legitimate, thus evolving a criminal enterprise into a fully fledged business.
Times do change, don't they? My father hated foundations. He loved doing it by himself. Man to man. But we're different, huh?
It's no different than any large corporation. You control a lot of money with very little. Minimize taxes. With no government control.
On the other, we have Joey Sasa and his old school approach.
Oh, your problem. Joe, your business is your business. I have no interest or percentages from it. I'm out. Mr. Joe Zaza now owns what used to be the Corleone family business in New York. Out of the kindness of his heart, he gave you a job in his family. Contrary to my advice, you took the job. I offered you something better in the legitimate world. You turned me down. Now, you both come to me with this bad blood. And what do you expect me to do? Am I a gangster?
No, you're not a gangster.
In this newfound situation, the representation of power also shifts. Michael is seen drinking orange juice.
Is it possible that you could get me something sweet, some orange juice, anything, candy?
Per favore, una saluta d'arancia dei dolci.
Trouble with diabetes.
Power is now processed and filtered. It's much cleaner and easier to sell. Though in the end, it's just another face of the same coin. This is cleverly expressed in this scene, right after the attempt on Michael and the other couple's lives, just after he announces his resignation as a boss. As Michael is pulled back into the criminal world, his right-hand man and his nephew, who are still rooted in the classic ways of the mob, are seen handling oranges.
They pull me back in.
Michael is surrounded by raw power.
Our true enemy has not yet shown his face.
Michael!
But power eventually fades. Number 4. Loss of power. Eventually, every character is bound to lose his power. The scene of Vito's death almost feels like a last attempt by the now former boss to play with power, by means of deforming it and playing with it. And as Michael dies, he finally lets go of his power, one last time.